Welcome to another exciting episode of Howard's Opinion. I'm your host, Howard, and I'm thrilled to have you all tuning in today. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you, packed with the latest updates and insights from the world of sports. As we dive into the first segment, I want to talk about the madness that's been unfolding in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. The 2025 March Madness has been nothing short of spectacular, with stunning upsets, nail-biting finishes, and incredible performances from some of the top teams and players. One story that caught my attention is the remarkable rise of Arkansas, who delivered the tournament's most stunning upset so far. I mean, who would have thought that this team would come out swinging and take down some of the heavy hitters? It just goes to show you that in March Madness, anything can happen, and that's what makes it so thrilling. But what's also fascinating is the betting landscape surrounding the tournament. We've got some huge wagers placed on various teams with potential payouts reaching into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, can you imagine putting down $10,000 in a team like Houston at 20-1 odds? If they go all the way, that's a $220,000 profit. It's mind-boggling to think about the kind of money that's being thrown around in the sports betting world. And let's not forget about the other teams still in contention. We've got powerhouses like Duke, Auburn, and Florida, all vying for a spot in the Final Four. The competition is fierce, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. As we take a quick break, I want to leave you with a question. Who do you think will emerge victorious in this year's March Madness? Will it be one of the favorites, or will we see another Cinderella story unfold? Stay tuned, folks, as we'll be discussing more of the tournament's top storylines and betting trends. We'll be right back with more fascinating sports news on Howard's Opinion. Speaking in a deep, resonant voice, Howard begins. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion, folks. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into the world of sports. Today, we've got a plethora of stories that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. From injuries affecting top teams to new recruits making waves, it's been an eventful few days in the athletic sphere. First off, let's talk about the injury bug that's bitten some of our favorite teams. Over at Georgia, defensive back Daniel Jackson is out for the rest of spring practice with a knee injury. Now, I know what you're thinking, Howard. Why are we worrying about spring practice? Well, my friends, these injuries can have a ripple effect come fall. And with the Bulldogs looking to make another deep run in the playoffs, they'll need all hands on deck. Meanwhile, at Florida State, defensive back Edwin Joseph will miss the rest of spring practice with what's being called a small injury. Now, I've been around the block a few times, and when coaches say something is small, it usually means it's not as minor as they're letting on. We'll keep an eye on this one, folks. But enough about injuries, let's talk about some good news. A new study has come out showing the most popular high school sports in Georgia. And I've got to say, I'm not surprised. Football is king for the boys, while track and field takes the top spot for the girls. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, Howard, what about basketball? Well, let me tell you, hoops is still a beloved sport in the Peach State, but it seems like football is where the hearts of these young athletes lie. And finally, we've got some recruiting news that's got everyone buzzing. Four-star edge rusher Xavier Griffin Haynes has named his top schools. And guess what? The Georgia Bulldogs are right in the mix. Now, I know Coach Kirby Smart still has a lot of work to do on the recruiting trail, but landing a talent like Griffin Haynes would be a huge coup for the program. That's all for now, folks. It's been a wild ride in the world of sports, and we're not done yet. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion. We're wrapping up today's episode with a look at the world of sports, specifically the track and field scene in Austin, Texas. The Clyde Littlefield Texas Relay is just around the corner, and it's shaping up to be an exciting event. This 97-year-old tradition will bring together some of the nation's best collegiate athletes, as well as top high school stars from the state. I've got to say, I'm impressed by the talent that's going to be on display at Mike Myers Stadium. From the university and college competitions to the high school events, there are plenty of athletes to keep an eye on. Let me tell you about a few of them. On the girls' side, we've got Keona Benford from Vandegrift, who's already setting school records in the long jump. Then there's Josie Bussim from Bowie, who's qualified for the 100-meter dash and has committed to play softball at the University of Texas. And let's not forget about the boys. Jake Chu from Vandegrift is looking strong in the 100-meter dash, while Emerick Famechon from Cedar Park is returning to compete in the 2,000-meter steeplechase. Swade Griffin from Lago Vista is also one to watch, with the nation's fastest time this year in the 110 hurdles. These are just a few of the many talented athletes who will be competing at the Texas Relays. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to remind you that the Texas Relays will be televised live on the Longhorn Network, so be sure to tune in if you can't make it to the stadium in person. And if you're interested in attending, tickets are still available for Friday and Saturday sessions. That's all for today's Howard's Opinion. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, these are some of my humble thoughts.